Hello, Mike the Bird from the Ultimate Guide to Chasing.com, here with an update on the sports betting 3X experiment that I announced last month. And August is in the books. We're actually through the first week in September, and I'm glad to report that August was a success. So I made $140.60 for a 14.06% ROI. And I placed 76 bets. I won 50 of those for a 65% win rate. Even though I won at that rate, we were betting on heavy favorites on the money line. So the chase system was absolutely necessary in order to make this profitable. Now, I definitely experienced some growing pains over the last month. Now, the first thing is when I was explaining this idea, I announced that I was trying to stay under a negative 300 on these heavy favorites that we're talking about. What that means is you got to bet $300 to win 100. Now, as you go higher, it can go negative 350, negative 400. I've seen as high as like negative 1100, negative 1200. So, anyways, I was still trying to keep that target of negative 300, but almost immediately after making the video, I'd placed several bets that went well over the negative 300 mark. I think the highest one was negative 350. So, anyways, moving on, the next growing pain that I suffered was hitting the panic button. And let me explain myself as to why I was doing this and what's going on there. I've been using chase systems for years, and I've had the good fortune of talking to a lot of experts on the subject, and I've heard the same thing over and over again. Basically, it works until it doesn't. And, I've been told by every expert that chase systems do absolutely nothing to change the odds. Now, I'm trying to buck that trend, and I'm saying that sports betting is the exception to the rule. I explained myself with what I call the pendulum cycle theory, and I believe that changes everything, because that would mean that sports betting is not random. The value of a bet increases and decreases with the public's perception. It's not random. So, anyways, we're trying to take advantage of this, but still, it's in the back of my mind at all times that at any time this chase system could get out of control and fail. So, with that said, there was actually 4 instances throughout the month where I actually ended up loading up. And we talked about, in the last video, we talked about using a 1-unit progression. Basically you're starting out with $10, we're talking about a $1,000 bankroll, so basically 1% of your bankroll is going to be 1 unit. So you start with 10, if you lose, you increase to 20, to 30, to 40, to 50, so on and so forth. And on a $1,000 bankroll, you would actually have 13 tiers deep. Well, every time I got up to around the 4th or 5th tier in that level, I'd hit the panic button. And instead of increasing to 50, from 40 to 50, I would increase to 186 and try. 186 was the highest one I did this last month, and get everything back in one shot. Now, this worked out well for me, but it's a dangerous precedent, and it's something that I'm trying to get away from doing. And let's see. I had a $186 bet, a $127 bet, and an $80 bet. Those were the big hitters of the month. And then I finally found a solution that I believe was going to be more acceptable, and kind of calm my nerves in those situations. So I'm thinking that once you get around tier 4, tier 5, instead of just trying to, make multiple bets of $50 to $60, and higher, and trying to get it back in 2 or 3 shots, you find 2 heavy favorites and parlay them together so that you get 100% return on that particular bet. And that is what I did the last time I went to a level 5 and it worked out well. So for the month of September, we have NFL starting up. I am going to continue with the MLB, and I am actually on the Astros tonight, and I will try to work into this video. I'll show you the graph because this is exactly what I'm looking for. When I saw this morning, I actually ended up getting this for a better price than what is showing in the graph. I'm going to put up the circle graph from AccuScore, and it's showing that the Houston Astros have over a 76% chance of winning, and that's what I'm looking for. And we're trying to find favorites that are under -300, and I got this for -227, which is that's right in the pocket of where you want to be with these bets. So anyways, we're going to continue on with the MLB, basically until like hockey and basketball start up. But we're going to be working in the NFL as well. And the NFL, that's been my bread and butter. That's where I cut my teeth. And 10-point teasers has been the biggest moneymaker of anything for me. And so if you guys end up seeing this video, only a handful will probably see this before the game actually goes off. But the first 10-point teaser that I'm looking at, we got the opening week, coming up this Sunday. I've got the Eagles, I've got the Chiefs, and I've got the Browns. That's all 1 o'clock games. So if this 10-point teaser ends up losing, I still have other teams at the 4 o'clock games that I can work in for a second teaser. But anyways, so I've got the Eagles. I got them at -0.5. So basically, they have to win by 1 point. A tie would lose. I got the Chiefs at +7, and Browns, I believe that was +4.5. I would have to double check on that. But I locked in that bet. I actually had bonus money. Every time I put money into my account, they actually get charged for the credit card fee. So they take about 7% of that, and they give it back to you in the form of a bonus, which it's kind of funny because you actually have to roll that over at least once in order to actually get that money. So this has been building up for me, over the past month. Basically, I started this experiment out with $300, and I was treating it as though I had a $1,000 bankroll, and just kept increasing. It wasn't exactly weekly, but I put, $300 in 3 different times, and by the end of the month, I had $1,040, and then I increased again by about another $150 or so. So I'm currently at over $1,200, and I had this bonus money kicking around. It was about $50. It was 54 and change, I believe, and I ended up putting that 54 on this NFL 10-point teaser. So if for any reason it ends up losing, it's not going to hurt my bottom line. My main account balance is still there that I'm working with the MLB, and hopefully if this wins, then I'm going to use the bonus money and see if I can push with the NFL, because I've done very, very well in years past. Okay, until next time, this is Mike Burge from the Ultimate Guide to Chasing.com. We'll see you in the next video.